Hi guys, my name is Abdulhab Adekola and I'll be taking you this training from Urban Consults. We train people on some applications like this PowerPoint, Word, Excel. Today we'll be training you on PowerPoint. It's meant to be 2 days and these are makeup classes for the one we had on June 30 and some other days. So today, the day one will be on the art of presenting outstanding PowerPoint slides. I've made this day free because I've seen a lot of times people have something, a great content to present, but they do not know how to present them. It makes me sad. So I feel like people should know how to present very, very well. And these are things that we neglect. So I want to call our attentions to them, and I hope going forward we'll be able to inculcate them into our presentations in the future. So welcome once again. Um, One, since we are dealing with PowerPoint, we need to know what is expected in the application. You know, most of us we have used Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word before, and we know what we use it for. We use it to process words, paragraphs, sentences, things like that. Unlike unlike PowerPoint, you see what we have in Microsoft Word: words, paragraphs, sentences, grammars. So that's Microsoft Word for you. But for Microsoft PowerPoint, what is expected are just points. Like Christians used to say, the PowerPoint, your prayer point. What is it? What is it summarily in a sentence? What are you trying to pass across? That's what is expected in PowerPoint application. So you don't put a lot of words, a lot of paragraphs in PowerPoint. So that is basically the difference between Microsoft PowerPoint and Microsoft Word. Microsoft PowerPoint straight to the discussion. Microsoft Word explain, 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 explain. Yeah, in it. So that's that. So before you start designing on Microsoft PowerPoint application, the first thing that is required of you is the first that is required of you is to visualize. Is to visualize. You have to look like have a mental picture of what you want your design to look like. How do you want it to look like? You have to have a mental picture. How many slides do you want it to be? What actually do you want to discuss in those slides? You have to have a mental picture of them. Who are the people that you'll be addressing? So you need a mental picture. Another thing is when you have this mental picture is just like a client or a person that is interested in building a house, a mansion. He himself have to visualize that, okay, is it a bungalow that I want to build? Is it a duplex that I am interested in? What color do I want? How many bedrooms should be there? Do I want a backyard this wide? So you have to imagine what you want. This imagination will lead you to explain better to somebody like the architect that is going to draft it out. And that takes me to the next step. After your mental picture, you must be able to draft it out. Take a pen and paper, then write it down. These are what I want to discuss in my slides. Draft them out. Then go through them again and again and again and again. Then you can rearrange according to how you want it to flow. Because in presentation, this thing have to flow. You must not put, you must not be discussing what you should be discussing at the last slide in the first slides. They have to follow like you are telling a story. That's how it is. You are telling a story. You have to captivate them. That's what the captivating. You must not miss your audience along the way. So you have to draft your slides have to follow accordingly. So after you have drafted your topics, it has to be in topic. Each slides must actually be talking about one particular main topic. You get it? Must be talking about one particular main topic. If you look at these slides, I like referring to this. So actually looking at this slide now, you see that I'm talking about Vodacom. Vodacom generally. Vodacom. So if you look at these slides too, it's actually talking about a product. I shouldn't, it is not advisable, it is not correct, and it is not wise to put these 2 points together in one slide. No, is not going to help you, and it's not going to help your audience as well. Both of you will be lost during the presentation. So each slide should address one particular main point. So back to what I've been saying, after the draft, you have the topics laid down according to how the are going to flow. So as you are drafting, as I made mention earlier, you have to consider your audience. Your audience matters a lot in designing your slides and your presentation. Okay. Um, who are your audience? As an undergraduate or a postgraduate student, your audience may likely be the lecturers at the panel. There are some things that interest our lecturers. What interests them is different from what interests business people outside there. What interests a business person in the merchandise industry might not interest somebody in the tech industry. So you look at your content you want to present. How can you present in the best manner that will interest your audience? So you have to look and consider that very, very well. So after you have considered that, one of the things that you have to consider in designing according to the taste of your audience includes the color. The color has to be considered as well. Your font style, your font color, your background. So all these things matters. Okay, now let me show you this. Okay, let's bring a text box. I bring it here. This is a text box. This is a white background, and you can see. Okay, let me write something meaningful. I hope you can see they're not training. This training written. This black board. Now you can see this more clearly now. Okay, when I change the color to yellow, you see it gets somehow difficult to read. So it's very, very important to consider the kind of font color you are using, the kind of font size you are using, the kind of font style, because the style also matters. Because if you are addressing lecturers, you are not expected to be using a font style that looks like this. Let's see. Okay, you can move this. Can move this. Font style that look like this. See, this one doesn't actually speak well in that kind of situation. See, you see now, using this font style, black ladder, black adder, etc., it makes it more difficult to read this. However, if you change the font size, yeah, it now comes to become legible. So depending on who you address, if you're addressing kids, some font style might appeal to them. So you have to look at it very well that what do you think is going to appeal your audience? So those are very, very important. I've made mention of your font style, font color, and font style, font size. So they are very, very important. And however, Because you can see it while you are designing doesn't actually mean your audience would see it when you are presenting. You'll be presenting using projector. So you have to consider the room you will be presenting as well. How far are your audience sitting to the screen? You have to look at that. The rule of thumb is that your font size should be big enough. Since your style is not going to be containing a lot of words, then you can make your font style big enough. And the background should make it readable. This is black on white. Like the other time, if you make this one yellow now, it becomes more difficult to read. You see. So you have to consider all those ones. Then again, let me show you a slide. Then from there you can tell me, okay, let me show you this slide. Look at this slide now. Looking at this slide, you can see a stethoscope used by doctors. Then you actually know that this presentation is going to be something in the medical field. If you are an engineer, I don't expect to see all these kind of things unless you are presenting in the bioengineering field, something like that. So if you are presenting in the engineering field, you put images. Look at this. You put images that are related to your point of presentation. You see them. See, not a lot of words. Everything has to be on point. Look at this. You must be able to use the right graphics. If you look at this now, these are icons. You can see now this is showing something is declining and this is declining. You can't use this icon when you want to talk about something that is improving. This is coins. These are coins, and this is something about financial, trust, costs, margins. You see, the topic here is the problem. That's what this slide is about. What is the problem this business might face? So these are the problems. See, declining market, financial, trust, maybe from the customers, cost, and the margins, the rate of return. So all these are very, very important. I want to show you this slide again. If you look at this slide, okay, you've seen this slide like this. Okay, now look at this. So I was going to show you this slide. Now, look at this slide now. This is not a good slide for presentation because it has a lot of words on it. Now, if you have a lot of words on your slide, there are two possibilities. Number one, it is either you lose, number one, it is either you lose the attention of your audience. One is either they listen to you or they start reading what you have on the screen. So if you are saying something important, definitely they might not get it because you have given them another task, which is to read what you have on the slides. So this kind of slide is a no-no. I know some of our lecturers in school give us handouts like this, but they are not presenting to you. They are giving you handouts. That is okay. But in presentation, maybe defense, business presentation, business pitching, this is this is not advisable. If you look at this, as I was showing you, looking at this slide now, unlike the other one, you cannot know what I want to discuss from this slide. You cannot know it unless I explain to you. And that's another point you have to note. Your slide must not do the talking. It is not your slide that should do the talking. This slide is doing the talking. And when your slide is doing the talking, you are not even needed in that presentation room because your slide is there and we can read it. Don't even come. And when you come, bye bye. However, looking at this slide, until the presenter starts his presentation, that's when you know what this is all about. Even an engineer that works with an ISP might not actually explain what this slide we want to explain. Okay, let's start from the beginning of this slide. Okay, the way that cutting draws is transition. So, see, this is the beginning of the slide. Looking looking at this slide now, you can see that this is about a first presentation. It's just on like internship. So, an intern with Vodacom, a student from Obafemi University, his name and the matric number. So straight to the point, not a lot of words. You can see that this is big enough. Now you can see the font combination. You can see the font color. This color actually is about to match. So, so the way that thing draws is a transition. I'm going to teach you this in the next training. So look at this now. Some bubbles are going to come in now on click. You see that? These are animations. I'll also touch this in the next training for those who are interested. So looking at this slide, nobody can understand what the presenter is about to discuss. That's how your slides is meant to be. They are not meant to do the talking. You are the one that should do the talking. And you even look at this, there is color matching. See, the matches in a way, and the content is brief, and the font size, font font style is readable and stylish. Don't overdo it and don't underdo it. That's the point. So other things enters. Okay, this thing we did not remove it the other time, so it comes with it. It's not meant. So all these things are animations. We are going to touch this in the next training for those who are interested. Okay. Another thing is you must be able now from your visualization, then you know what are the things that you need. All these things you see here are not actually in the PowerPoint application. They were imported. They were imported. So it is when you have visualized your slides, that's when you know that okay, I need this, I need that. Then you look at how do I need to get them? How do I need to get them? So your visualization helps a lot. It's like you are preparing your ground for farming season. So all these things were imported, and in the next training we'll talk about how to import pictures and videos, and how to put all this. More so, okay, so you have seen the differences now between these two slides. This slide is not doing the talking itself. It needs a presenter to do the explanation. Whereas these slides, we are okay even reading the slide itself. So why do we need anybody to come and present to us? All the details are there. So using this kind of slides, your your audience will have read it, not actually listening to you, but reading the slides. And you might have lost them if you have other valuable information to pass across with through voice. Um, Another thing is timing. You have to time yourself. You have to time yourself because there will be a time frame given to you to present your slides. So it is very, very important to time yourself as well. How do you time yourself? One is you have to know the number of slides that is going to help you out. You don't put like 20 slides for presentation when you don't have much time. Maybe you have given like 5 minutes or 10 minutes to present and you have 20 slides and you have things to explain. So you make them like I said earlier, summarily. They have to be very, very they have to be in summary. and captivating. It's when they are captivating that at the end of the presentation, your audience will have interest in asking questions. And that's outside of your time. They have interest in asking questions. So you look at your slides, you edit them accordingly. Then you look at, okay, what is going to captivate my audience? How many slides do I have? Can I reduce them? If you can reduce them, fine. What do I want to discuss? Is it of interest to my audience? Would it be of interest to my audience? If it's not going to be, remove it. You don't need any excesses. You need points. That's why it is PowerPoint. Because your presentation speaks about you yourself. If you have if you have good idea and you don't know how to present it, then you are flawed. So, and one way to achieve the time is to rehearse. You have your slides already, then you have to rehearse from the beginning. Okay, you rehearse this. If this is your slide, then you play it. You put yourself in this situation as if you are already in the presentation room. Perhaps your audience, your improvised audience might be your friends, your roommates, your family. So they correct you, they give you some tips, and from there you have some lessons to re-edit your slides accordingly. So through rehearsing, you can master the time and to present accordingly to the schedule. Present accordingly to the schedule. So with this, with this, you should be able, if you have great content, you have great content, you will be able to present very, very well in the presentation room. So the next training would cover things I have been showing you as well. All these designs. By one, the templates. This is a template. This is a template. So how do you choose different templates? How do you do these shapes? How are they able to come at different time? So those are animations. I'm going to train you on that. All these shapes, how do you get them? And another thing is um, the insert. Let's look at that. The table. How do you insert tables? Pictures, videos, text box, header, all those things. I'm going to touch it for you. And the templates in the designs, we are going to uh, train you on that as well. Different templates. This is not a template in PowerPoint. You can actually put your own image as a background, like the one I showed you here. See this? See? See this? This I don't know, is it a counter now? It's not showing here. How do you do all those things? How? See this one now? See? See? So all this, I'm going to train you on them very, very well. So apart from that as well, I've talked about transitions and animation. These things add to the ginger of your presentation. Wow, see how that thing is flying. Wow, see that, see this. So you're going to touch that and so many more. I'm going to post the syllabus for the next training, and I hope you show interest on time so that we can have the training as due. Thank you very much for joining me in this training. See you in the next class. Bye.